A powerful will to survive combined with revenge made Nick endure the severe pain and crawl out. He knew if the Indians found him he would surely die. The only thing he could do now was hide quickly. However, not long after crawling, he saw his son frozen solid. Meanwhile, the boy also realized something was wrong. He questioned the man why he went to the river yesterday. The boy suspected the Indians were a lie, because he fetched water at the river and saw nothing unusual.
Tell me right now and be honest, did you see him?
Put your rifle down.
Did you see the reed?
No. Not a single one.
You fucking lied to me? You lied to me!
Then the boy had his weapon snatched away. Now Nick was dead, and his son was missing. He believed the best choice now was to keep quiet. Once they returned, both could receive a generous reward. However, the old hunter would never expect. Nick's heart of revenge had already been ignited. He slowly crawled back to camp, collected usable equipment, then put on a fur coat, and crawled toward a long rotted corpse. Nick smashed the bones, then dug out the marrow. Although it smelled horribly rotten, it was the only food he could find. Nick painfully crawled to the river, but as soon as he tried to drink, water leaked out from the wound on his neck. He choked and coughed violently. Nick grabbed a handful of dry grass from the riverbank, then poured out gunpowder, and pressed it onto the wound. Finally, he picked up the burning grass, and pressed it against his throat. The intense burning made him faint instantly. When Nick woke up again, it was already night. He lit a campfire in a cave by the cliff. When hungry, he ate the rotting corpse to fill his stomach. To walk out of this desolate ice field, he had to use every resource. Nick originally planned to rest here for a few days, but unexpectedly he encountered a group of local tribes. If these Indians discovered him, he knew he would die miserably. He was forced to hide in the freezing river, but people were already standing above him. Seeing he was about to be discovered, he could only drift downstream with the current, but people on the shore still shot arrows. Nick hurriedly dove underwater, and luckily dodged another flying arrow. However, a greater danger awaited ahead. He was overturned by the rapid river. Fortunately, Nick grabbed a piece of driftwood, and narrowly survived the waterfall. Nick drifted downstream, finally reaching shore at a bend. He quickly took off his heavy fur coat, then lit a fire to check his wounds. Due to prolonged soaking, his entire body was infected, but Nick had no time to rest. He had to replenish energy quickly. Luckily, he had years of wilderness experience, and began devouring food. He put on the fur coat and grabbed a walking stick, but as soon as he climbed up the riverbank, he saw wolves surrounding a buffalo. He could only watch from a distance, hoping to scavenge leftovers, so it went until late at night. Nick saw the wolves fleeing in panic. It turned out an Indian drove them away, although he knew it was dangerous. Hunger forced him to risk approaching. When the Indian drew his bow, Nick raised both hands and knelt down. Nick showed he meant no harm. He only hoped for a bite to eat. Although on this land they were natural enemies, the man generously tossed him a piece of buffalo meat. Nick picked it up and devoured it. Although the bloody smell made him nauseous, to avoid making the man uncomfortable, Nick endured and finished it all. The next day, he told the man his experience. The two shared nearly identical stories. The man admired Nick's unyielding spirit, and decided to travel with him. However, as days passed, Nick's injuries grew worse. Finally, during a snowstorm, he could not hold on. The man quickly gathered branches to light a fire, then set up a tent. He applied herbs to Nick's wounds. The rest depended on Nick himself. Meanwhile, the boy and the others finally returned to camp. The old hunter lied that he had given Nick a proper burial, and that his son had been taken by Indians. The captain fulfilled his promise. He felt guilty for losing this old companion. Meanwhile, Nick finally survived. The Indian had already left to search for his family, leaving behind the last buffalo leg. Nick packed up and continued on his journey, but before going far, he was stunned by what he saw.